So welcome back to my show, y'all. As always, I hope you're doing absolutely amazing. On today's episode of Truckin' It, we're going to discuss fatigue driving and how it relates to Thanksgiving. There's a few issues with that, so stay tuned, and I'll be discussing how your driving is going to be impacted by your turkey, by your Black Friday shopping, and by your long distance trip. Stay tuned. So, you're traveling on Turkey Thursday, or Wacky Wednesday, or Black Friday, or Super Saturday. Whatever day you're traveling this week, you're gonna be affected by a few things, and we need to talk about this. Let's start with Wacky Wednesday, as I like to call it. This is where a bunch of people start driving long distance, trying to, quote unquote, beat the clock. If you're traveling on Wacky Wednesday this week, just be aware the weather's going to affect you big time, and trying to push yourself past your fatigue limits is ultimately going to cause problems. So stop trying to drive straight through on these trips. You know your limit. If you need to drive more than 11 hours, you need a 10-hour break. And that's not just for CDL drivers. That's for everybody. Because if you're not getting adequate rest, you're going to hurt someone. If it's less than 11 hours, you need to take breaks every few. Perhaps a lunch stop here and a snack stop there, so that you are rested and alert when you're driving this weekend. And that's just for Wednesday, and also applies to Super Saturday as well. For Turkey Thursday, you're going to have three things going on. Your Thanksgiving dinner, your crazy relatives who might be watching football games, basketball games, whatever, and you're going to have the Black Friday sale starting up. So, for those three things this week, I'm going to urge you to kind of hold off on the turkey a little bit. Maybe let the president pardon him instead of having it. If you're going to be driving long distance to see relatives, or if they're going to be driving long distance to see you, it would be doing them a favor by swapping out the turkey for another meat product such as ground beef or barbecue this year. Now, for those of y'all who are vegan or vegetarian, this doesn't apply to you, since you're probably not having Thanksgiving dinner anyway. And if you are, well, good luck. Then there's the Black Friday crowds. They start at 6 a.m. Thursday at Walmart. Okay? Remember that. If you want some history on Black Friday, I suggest looking up Eddie S. Lampert on Google. He's the guy who, when he bought Sears and Kmart, two now failing retail stores, he decided to implement this concept of having Black Friday at 6 p.m. on Thursday at his stores to try and drive up sales. Well, it backfired on him, and that's why his stores are still struggling today. Whereas Walmart and some of the others adapted, and they're now the ones who are successful at this. If you're going to be going to any of these Black Friday sales, pack your patience. Big time. Because there's going to be aggressive drivers out on the road. There's going to be people who are just afraid to drive in the weather conditions that are going to be occurring. And it's going to vary depending on which part of the country you're in. Me personally, I have to work on Black Friday no matter what. And if I do happen to get the day off, I am going to be traveling on that day as part of Opt Outside. Which, by the way, if you're not opting outside instead of doing the Black Friday shopping, you're missing out. Because Opt Outside means you're volunteering at a state park or you're going on an adventure of some kind. And Opt Outside, which was started by another chain store called REI Co-op, and is now embraced by other sporting goods stores, namely Academy and a few others. And also is endorsed by some of the camera manufacturers like Canon, Olympus, and yes, even Sony. This is a way to bust your fatigue and do some service in the community at the same time, and it also keeps you local. You're going to local area parks to do this. One of my favorite places to go is the Fort Worth Stockyards. I've also got Cleburne State Park, Dinosaur Valley State Park, and Terlingua Ranch on my list of places to go this year if I do end up getting Friday, Saturday off. Now, let's talk about Black Friday itself. If you're starting travel on Black Friday, you're stupid. Because the highways are going to be jammed with shoppers. People are going to be crazy. They're going to be aggressive. And they're going to be fighting each other at the shopping malls. If you don't believe me, search Black Friday mobs on Google. Because that is going to be what ultimately hurts you in the end. So, now we'll get on to Super Saturday. I like to call it Super Saturday because everybody and their dog is traveling Super Saturday and Super Sunday. This year's weather is gonna be terrible if you live anywhere north of I-40. I've already been warned of this from both Doppler David Finfrock at NBC DFW and by Jesse Hawila at WFAA. So, if you're going to be traveling this Thanksgiving weekend, you're going to need to pack even more patience versus what you would normally pack. Especially if you're heading north or if you're heading northeast. Colorado's already had some issues with first-time snow season drivers. That's right, I said snow. This should make you think twice about traveling. And if you're going to be traveling, be prepared with an emergency kit. Along with a bunch of extra patience, because I have seen Alabama ice storms before, I have seen Tennessee ice storms before, and I have seen ice storms even in Georgia during the winter months. I don't know what the traveling to the south of I-40 is going to hold, but I do know this. North of I-40, you're in trouble. Especially in states like Missouri, Illinois, Indiana, Kansas, Iowa. If I just named off your state, you need to be getting on your weather app right now. And you need to be checking that forecast before you travel. Now, is there a state that's going to be calm? Yes, there is. I just happen to live in it. Where weather changes every 5 minutes here in Texas. So, if you don't like the weather, 5 minutes later it'll change. But that's one of the perks of living here. However, if you are running those northern states, you are going to want to spend some time making sure you're rested, making sure you're relaxed, and making sure that you are prepared for traffic chaos, both at airports and on the roads. Now, is there a way to travel that isn't going to be affected by delays? No. Is there a way to travel that might help you be more relaxed? Well, if you've got the time, dare I say it, this is the year I would encourage you to take a train. Trains are cool. They can plow through snow unlike aircraft. They can, if they are affected by delays, they'll be minimal compared with what's on the roads and what's at the airports. And with the advent of things like the Hyperloop and high-speed rail, now you can get to your destination a bit faster if you are coming south. And you're going to be much more relaxed riding the rails. Unlike the rest of the Black Friday, Turkey Thursday, Wacky Wednesday, and Super Saturday crowds. So this holiday weekend, if you're traveling, I would encourage you to take the train. But if you can't, because by the way, taking the train is the experience of a lifetime. If you cannot do that, just go, pack some extra patience this year. Relax. Keep an eye on the forecast. And if you're feeling tired, whether it be from Black Friday crowds, from extra turkey, or from drinking, in the case of drinking, even if you're not feeling tired, do not drive. Leave the driving to somebody else this year. Now, can you do driving, or when you leave that driving to somebody else, whether it be Greyhound, or Uber, or Lyft, Von Lane, they're going to try their best this year to get you where you need to go. And whether it be to the Black Friday crowds or to a friend's house, you're going to be all right. Now, if you're like me and driving a big truck this week, patience is going to be a big thing for us truckers. I've got my Cascadia prepared already as my boss goes through his maintenance cycle when I'm off duty. But I want y'all to know that I am going to be out there. I know I'm going to be seeing you. And we're just going to have to play it safe this year. Because one of the things, there's two things truckers are arming themselves with now. One of which my boss has in my truck. Actually, make that both. Yeah. Whatever you do on the road this year is being captured on video. So if you make no mistake about it, this year, these truckers are arming themselves with LightX drive cams, dash cams, and trucks that are equipped with onboard Doppler radars. Not just for weather, but for collision avoidance. A lot of the fleets have moved to these newer trucks that can automatically lock down the brakes and record a video if you're doing bad behavior and you end up having a mistake turn into an emergency. So please stop driving tired this year. Stop the fatigue. Get rested before you get on the road and get prepared while you're at it. I'm Zach Bell, this is Truckin' It, and y'all have yourself a happy Thanksgiving. Bye for now.